Hey, I'm Tim and I'm about town, and today I'm visiting with Rachel, the owner of the Fox's Boxes. So come on inside, let's meet Rachel. Hey Rach, it's great to be here with you at the Fox's Boxes. That's such a cool name.
Well, it's great to have you here, Tim.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the Fox's Boxes, how long you've been here, what's going on?
Well, we actually opened the Fox's Boxes December of 2016.
Okay.
We're a fresh food neighborhood restaurant that offers job training to individuals that have significant barriers to employment and 240-hour job training programs. So our menu is all inspired by what our kids kind of ate growing up, but we do have meat, vegetarian, vegan items. It's fun.
Cool. Well, so you're really a neighborhood restaurant, but with a purpose.
Exactly.
You're kind of giving back and bridging with the community.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we saw a real opportunity and a real need.
Yeah.
The area is developing. We've got new restaurants, new breweries, hotels. All those things are building here in Wilmington's downtown areas, and even more specifically on the north side. And we have a population of individuals that are unemployed, that have different barriers and obstacles to getting employed. And how can we get them prepared, get those individuals with the skills necessary and needed to go work in our hospitality and service industry, so we could be that space to do that. My husband's worked in the industry for 25 plus years, so he's been doing this a long time.
Well, as you know, the motto for my business is home. Helping others means everything, and you're living that out.
Yeah.
And you're making it happen every day for people in our community that have a need, and you're not only helping them gain job skills, but you're helping the community and in turn providing.
And in turn, hopefully they can be homeowners someday.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly the goal, right? That's the goal. So
it's, Brooklyn Arts District is really an up and coming area in the north side, and just all the redevelopment improvement. This is really a hot happening spot in town.
It is, and it's also though still an urban food desert. Fresh food is not accessible, and so that's something that we can add as well as a restaurant. As well, being a restaurant, we can add the fresh food aspects. So. We work with urban gardens or urban farms. We've got several nonprofits here in the north side that are growing fruits and vegetables, and they can bring them by here.
Yes.
And then we can use those to make sure, and we can also make sure that we keep our prices affordable so that families can get fresh food and eat fresh food items. So, and then we've got a big vegetarian community, and still meat eaters, though. You get a house divided, so we can meet the needs of both of those.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm just kind of inspired sitting here listening to you talk about all the things you're doing, and the passion and the vision behind kind of your mission. Tell me a little bit about these things on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so we host a variety of different events. If you go back on our Facebook event page, you will see a variety of different events. Every third Wednesday, we do something called What's Your Story Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it just kind of transpired because we have a huge refugee population from all these different places around the world. And how did they end up here in Wilmington? And what is their story? And maybe not the hard part, but what is their story? What did they love to do growing up, and those things? So it started out with our refugee community, and it's expanded to we've had our downtown homeless population. We've had we're having our veterans, I think, here at the end of the year, first of next year. We have our young people, our residents that have lived on the north side forever, men and women transitioning back into the community from incarceration. It's just a variety, but it's an opportunity for us to share our stories and find how we connect with one another, and it just brings people into the room. And then from there, it's like all these little other things just start shooting off from there. So now we have a grocery store initiative. We've been talking about the trolley to connect our districts, the Brooklyn Arts, Castle, the South Front, downtown, running in a circle. What can we do, and what can the community do to make those things happen?
Yeah. How can we help other people?
Yeah.
How can we bring the diverse population we have, different economically? And
being a restaurant is unique. People walk in here and they're not thinking that they're coming in here to go to another meeting that's going to be around a table with an agenda. They come in here and they eat and they have their meetings over food, and it's just a lot more loose. And then I don't know, bigger things. I've been, we're going on 2 years in December, and what I have seen transpire has been pretty inspiring myself. So, yeah.
So you got a story, obviously, behind having all this passion for giving back to the community.
Yeah.
How did it come about that I need to have a restaurant?
Yeah, well, my husband and I grew up together in Indiana. I've known him since I was 11, and out of high school, he got into the food service industry, and I went to nursing school.
Okay.
And he did much better than I did. He didn't go to college, but he worked hard in that industry, and he started learning. He started as a dishwasher, then ended up as a host, and then ended up as a busser, and then ended up as a cook. And in his early 20s, I was a registered nurse, and he was a restaurant manager, and he did much better than me. So, not to persuade people from becoming nurses, but I'm saying that there's opportunities in that industry. And we were fortunate. We had 3 kids. I could stay home with the kids because of his work, and he worked for the Olive Garden for almost 15 years. Got to do a lot for them, and that's what moved us here. And we watched him mentor people. He was able to hire and work with people and move them up the ladder when they never even realized that's what they wanted to do. And then they have found themselves now in careers that have taken them to Italy and have done this. And we saw that happening. And I've always, if you go on my sidetrack, I've always been a passionate advocate for social justice, for global development, addressing issues that really poverty is the root cause of. So what can we do? And I had done a lot of things, but wasn't working. So I said, you know what, I'm going to apply at UNCW and go get my master's. My kids were getting middle, high school, graduating, so got my master's, and that's where this idea kind of came from. I thought, you know what, it's time for you to leave the corporate and really get to do what you're good at, and that's helping get people. And then I spent time in grad school researching, because one of the biggest things he always talked about was the turnover, and there's always job openings. There's always job openings because they don't train individuals anymore in hospitality and service the way they used to. Mm-hmm. And so how could we fill that gap? So, and I did do the deep research, like how many job openings are there in this zip code? Uh-huh. You know, was this the right location to be? I was passionate about the north side because my kids grew up with a lot of these families. They went to Dreams Center for Arts Education.
Right.
And so, I was passionate about the north side, and this is where I wanted to be, but I wanted to make sure it was also the right location, and it very serendipitous that I ended up in finding this space. But used our small business centers, SPTDC and the Small Business Center at Cape Fear. I couldn't have done it without those two organizations. I could not have done it. I've never been an entrepreneur. I've never started my own business. I just have ideas that I want to carry out, and without their support, gosh, no way. So, and that's like with you doing, helping others. I mean, it's just, we've got to lean on one another. We've got to reach out and do what we can. And without my supporters, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Well, it's important to network. It's also important to figure out a way to help other people and get the word out.
Yeah.
And just let people know about the Foxes. I'm curious about the name, the Foxes.
We're the Foxes.
Okay.
My youngest son, I think we were in the car one day and he's like, we should just be the Foxes Boxes. Our original business model was going to be much smaller. Our daughter moved to New York when she was 18, and they have all these little window kiosk places. And we're like, ooh, we could do something, and it would be buy a box, give a box.
Okay.
Like you would come in and buy a box, and then we would donate a box to someone who needs it. But then as we started working, and then he did take a leave from the Olive Garden to try a quick service to kind of see what and he was like, I'm gonna miss that. And we found this space, and we just walked in and we could just visualize it. So we stayed with the Foxes Boxes, and it has a lot of little meanings. And he was like, you got to think outside the box, eat inside. So we're trying to address some of our critical needs in our community in a unique way, in a way that nobody else is. We are for profit. We are an LLC. We're not a nonprofit. So funding is challenging in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, we can't apply for grants necessarily. It's been interesting. You know, we're a restaurant that's a social enterprise, and so my husband and I work 80 hours a week. We're here every day, you know, doing the grind, but it means something to us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do it if it didn't.
Well,
and
you're a for-profit, but with a purpose. And
it's so
Homes
for benefit.
Heroes is the same way. But we also have a 501c3 where we give back to the community
Nice.
and the places. And you're doing that too. I mean, you guys you have a family business, but it has purpose.
Yeah.
And you're giving back, and I think it's awesome.
Well,
And
thank
I'm glad
you.
we got to get together,
Yeah.
learn a little bit more. We're going to help get the word
Yeah,
out about the Fox's
thanks.
Boxes. Come on out, enjoy some
Yeah.
great food,
Please
and
do.
indirectly help people in our community.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Rachel.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
for
Yeah,
spending
thank
time
you.
together.
Yeah, it's awesome.